Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Trent from CourseCareers. Today I'm here interviewing Jayeven to talk about his story breaking into tech sales. Jayeven, you had quite the LinkedIn post talking about going from prison of some sort to tech sales now. And I think that was sort of like the exclamation mark that makes this story a little different than most. So I
Yeah.
want to get into all the details here today and talk about your journey. So why don't we start there? What were you doing before tech sales? What was sort of your past life? And like, where are you coming from here?
So my previous work experience was just basically, I mean, I've worked. Oh man, if my resume was like accurate, very very accurate, I had so many jobs. I've done part-time supervisor for UPS, working in a dentist's office, but primarily majority of my career has been in customer service, specifically the healthcare industry, working for Aetna, Humana, Invera Health, just specifically like health insurance. That's where a majority of my experience has been.
Very exciting. And when did you decide that tech sales was the route you wanted to transition into if you hadn't come from that background?
Bro, it's so crazy because I'm like 30, right? And I don't look it, I know, right? Shock people. It's true. 30.
You look good for 30.
Thank you. But like, man, it was literally once I got released from jail, because I went to jail for like a month. Uh, right after that, so August of last year, like literally, I was on Instagram scrolling, and there's this page called Salary Transparency, and they just go around asking people their annual salary and what profession they're in. And there was a guy, he was a sales engineer making 100 and something thousand. I was like, oh crap, wait, he's an engineer, a sales engineer? That sounds complicated. And then I went deeper down the rabbit hole. He had a YouTube channel, then he had a YouTube conversation with a guy named Cyrus. The guy Cyrus was an Uber driver who's now in tech sales, and went down further down the rabbit hole. Went to his YouTube channel. He talked about his story from going from Ubering to doing tech sales, and now he's making a lot of money. I was like, is this real? Is this possible? And that's when I first stumbled upon tech sales, scrolling on Instagram.
I think I've seen a similar video where they're like, "What do you do? Oh, tech sales. How much do you make? 250K." And
Yeah,
and then you're like, "Well, if that guy can do it, I could probably do it too, right?"
bro, exactly.
So you discovered this career path, tech sales. It seemed like maybe it was more financially lucrative than what you had experienced in the past. How do you then go from that idea of awareness and discovery to then how did you do something about it?
I mean, so I was at rock bottom. You know what I'm talking about? Like I get out of jail. Me and my son's mother had split up, so I had nowhere to go. I'm just like out here, literally, like you take the memory card out of life and just restart it. So you start from ground zero, a shelter, and then next a place to work. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking at YouTube, watching these testimonial videos of people in tech sales while still working at McDonald's, and then I finally landed another job working from the shelter with a company called Aetna. So I'm just seeing these testimonials. Oh, they keep bringing up boot camps, or courses and boot camps and courses. I'm like, what the hell is this? What? I have to get some sort of certification. So I'm looking more into it. I'm seeing Careerist and Corsa. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Then I see CourseCareers. I'm like, which one can I afford in this position? Because you literally have to pay to stay in the shelter. It's not like you just come there. Here's a warm blanket in the shower. It's like you pay here, you live here, but it's not the best. So I was like, okay, how much is it? Okay, this guy has a referral link in here, so it's $500. I need to invest in myself. That was the only thing in my mind. I was like, I need to invest in myself. I need to invest in myself. I went to college, dropped out. I was technically investing in myself, but I didn't pay. I didn't really pay for it. The government did. So I need to put my belief into action and buy this course. And I bought it. And once I bought it, I turned on the stove and started cooking.
Well, we got to eat out of here. What
What?
was it like being in a shelter? You have to like, are you paying rent and are you
Bro,
living with other people, or how does that situation work?
it is crazy because I've always worked. You know what I mean? All my life I've worked. I've taken care of my son's mother. I've taken care of myself. There was up and downs, but I've always been a worker, so I've never been in that deep of the trenches. So like, bro, it was crazy, man. It's kind of like a boarding home. Okay, so people come in and out from all walks of life, and there's all type of characters that you can possibly imagine, and they're not the best people, but they're there, and I'm there, so I'm no better than them. So I'm just like, I go in there. They say it's like $25 a night, and you're in. Oh my god, yeah, bro, I'm getting PTSD, bro. Oh, yeah. Think of your bedroom, and then think of three bunk beds, one on one wall, one on another wall, and one on another wall. Um, maybe not think of your bedroom. Think of a kid's bedroom with three bunk beds with grown men on all the bunk beds, and you're on the bottom, and it's not the cleanest place. The smell is not the nicest, and you're just thrown in there, just like, look, here you go. That's your bunk right there, and these are all the people. And all right, I'll close the door and be on my way now. It was I took it in stride. I'm a hard guy. I've been through a lot of stuff, and I've seen the people go through stuff. So I was like taken back, but I was just like, oh, well, I'm here. I got to do something. Like, you just got to get. I got to go. I got to move. I got to move. Go. But it was. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody. But it made me. It didn't break me, but damn, it shocked me.
So you're sleeping in a small room with 5, 6 grown men. It's probably hard to sleep in that environment and a lot of distractions. And can you just talk about that mentality of how it feels to sort of re-enter normal life? You're out here and you're now trying to figure out what's next for you, and so you discover tech sales. You're in this environment. Can you just talk about that mentality and maybe the sense of urgency to try and empower yourself and gain this new knowledge and then taking action? Like what were the days looking like?
Bro. So once I was released, I felt like, oh my god, I'm free. I can go into Publix and order a chicken sandwich. I was just like, wow, this. I was gone for a month. I wasn't gone for like 10 years, but I was like, wow, this is amazing freedom.
Everything's changed.
Bro, it was amazing. It was empowering just to walk out and just do my thing. But immediately I was placed on house arrest, so I couldn't leave. So I was just stuck in this place, and everyone around me had their own story of how they ended up there. And there was a young guy like right above me. He was younger than me, bro. I'm like 30 at the time. Well, actually, I was 29 at the time. He was like 20, and everybody's in there. The substance abuse, the mental illness, all just amalgamated, and you're in it. And I already came from like a hard working background. Like I work. I don't sit around. I work 2 or 3 jobs. I'll work 80 hours. I know how to work. So that wasn't the problem. The problem was just staying, not getting in the mindset of like, oh my God, am I going to be like them? Like, is this like you're there in it? So it's like I'm one of them, but is this how it's going to be? Like, no, I can't accept this as my reality. I'm here, but I'm not going to accept it. So, I'm working during the night. I'm working during the day. I'm online looking at the testimonials. Then I built the courage to buy it, and I'm just like, okay. And they supported me. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, even though nobody was perfect there, but they were like, damn, this kid, like, it's something about him. They called me the golden child. I have like a little poster that they drew me. They said he's the golden child. There's this older guy in there. He was like, bro, you don't let the grass grow under your feet. And I was like, he's like, you just doing this, doing that. I'm like, yeah, I gotta make. If I'm constantly doing something, something will work. So I'm just staying focused, not being taken into distractions of the alcohol, the drugs. I mean, I'm on probation, so I can't do drugs. But I could have been consuming a crazy amount of alcohol. They just, hey, you want to drink? You want to drink? You want to drink? That's all they do because there's no real fulfillment. So they just numb it and distract themselves about their situation. I was like, yeah, I'll have a drink here and there, but I'm focused on this. I need to get this done. I got to go to work. I got to wake up and go to work again. I got to get this completed because I can't be stuck here long term.
So the sense of urgency. So there probably wasn't a whole lot of maybe fun in this. If you're working in the night during the day, every spare moment was spent learning and figuring out how to escape.
Exactly. I mean, to be honest with you, I was only there once I got out of jail for 2 months. 2 months. Because, I mean, I was on house arrest, but I don't want to hear anybody making excuses. I'll take a slight detour. I don't hear anybody make any excuses about, oh man, trying to find a job. Bro, I was on house arrest in a shelter. Luckily, they had Wi Fi. I got 2 jobs in the span of 2 months and working for Aetna, a very huge corporation with a background. There is no excuse why you, a free person with maybe no record to, I definitely isn't a felony, can't get a job and pursue more. So, boom, I was only there for 2 months because, all right, being on probation on house arrest, you have to set a schedule and your probation officer has to approve it. So I was like, okay, I'm working nights from 10 a.m. to 6 a.m. 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then during the day, I'll be at the same location home and I'll be there till what 8 to like 5. And I was like, can I go to the gym? And it was like, you got to get a doctor's note. I was like, doctor's note. So I got a doctor's note. So I would go from work remotely, gym overnight, and do that cycle. So while I'm going to the gym, which is like my recreational time, I suppose, I found a little efficiency apartment because I was always doing something, trying to improve myself. I don't want to sit in there and get in the mentality of like everybody else. So I'm going to the gym. I see an efficiency apartment. I got 2 jobs. I'm like, yeah, it's time to get the hell out of here, bro. You ever been bit by a bed bug? A bed bug? It's unreal. It's unreal. It was horrible. But yeah, I was only there for a couple months because of sense of urgency, and I knew I wanted more. And it was like, you escaped. I've never seen anybody escape there. I was like, bro, you can do it. I was just here for 2 months. You've been here for 2 years. What are you waiting for?
It sounds challenging. How did you sleep if you're working during the night, gym during the day, and I'm sure everyone else was hanging out during the day. I mean, how did you sleep?
I miss being tired. I was very tired. The sleep was deprived. I can tell you that. It was scarce. It was, bro. I mean, and these people would just be up like drinking, talking. There was no TV because it was just so poverty stricken. But they would just be up talking, playing the radio. How did I sleep? I don't know. I just figured it out. I'm so exhausted that I can't not sleep. It's like not like I'm not tired. I'm just full of energy. I need some peace and quiet so I can little on to sleep. Bro, I'm exhausted. So those little 3 or 4 hours when I laid down, I was out. There was nothing that could disturb me except for somebody like touching me.
All right, so you're getting your life back on track. You're working at Aetna by the sound of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe doing the 2 jobs. Then you switch to Aetna. You discover tech sales.
Mm-hmm.
How do you then start pursuing tech sales?
Ah.
Like, what is that? How do you get on that ramp?
So boom. All right, so I'm in the efficiency apartment. I'm still working the 2 jobs. I have space. I'm not getting bit by bed bugs. It smells like some Febreze and a scented candle because I bought candles. It's amazing, but it's so tiny. I had a mini fridge and a little microwave and a little hot plate. So around this time, so I got out in August. I was at the shelter for probably like 2 months, like September, October, maybe 3 months, December. So I end up working like 3 more months at both of the jobs, and so here comes like the beginning of May. I get extended the offer by Aetna to go full time because I was hired through a staffing agency. So it's like, I'm like, if I take this full time position and keep doing what I'm doing, I'm never gonna have time to really get into sales because I have no time. I'm tired. I can't even focus. These courses are long and Trent is talking and I'm falling asleep while he's talking, and then I got to take this exam. This isn't going to work. So once again, I I put my faith and trust in God, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take the offer that they gave me to turn to full time. So that'll give me more time to focus on course careers, and I'll still have a little bit of money from working overnight at McDonald's just to scrape by. But once I complete the course, I'll be good. So I turned down the offer. I went hard on CourseCareers. That's why I completed it in a month. Well, I guess it was April, and then I completed it in May, and then I ended up getting hired like 1 month after. So yeah, man, I just locked in, cut out the other full time job. CourseCareers was my full time job, and I just worked overnight at McDonald's.
What did it feel like to sacrifice the safer route that maybe was more comfortable of just accepting the full time offer at Aetna? To your point, it's a big company, stable income. How did you rationalize cutting that to then focus on tech sales when this thing is uncertain and you're just basically going through a course?
I mean, how I figured. I mean, I knew I could. I've always been able to get jobs. You know what I mean? But I wanted a profession this time because that was my dilemma. Even though I've had all these good jobs, making good money, or work crazy hours and make a $3,200 check maybe every 2 weeks. I'm really like working 8 to 8, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, working overtime. I just knew I'm not reaching the type of lifestyle I want when I'm doing this. So I figured, yeah, if all else fails and this doesn't pan out like all these testimonials, I can get another remote customer service job and just go back. But I was like, but this time now I have to take a risk. That's what people do that want to get to the other side of life rather than take the traditional route of. I mean, military is a risk. You know, you could die, or going to college for like a doctor is 10 years invested. You may not even make it past pre med. So I was like, I need to take a risk. I've been playing it safe and have the same resume for 10 years. It's time to take a risk. And if all else fails, I can just get another remote job and then that'll be that. But right now, where I'm at in life, I'm not happy. And yeah, this got me here, but I want to go to the next level in life. So it's time to take the risk. And I was like, let's do it. I got overnight at McDonald's. At least I got that.
And how did you decide that Course Careers was the right program for you?
All the testimonials I've seen from all the other people that seen it, the reviews, reviews were great, and the other ones were fine. But I can tell you, most importantly, I could afford it because I couldn't afford much. So the affordability plus the highly recommended uh, reviews, I was like, okay, it all makes sense. $500, people saying it worked, all the testimonials. Let's do it.
How does it feel to now be on the other side? And we're going to talk about you're getting the job, but now you're an SDR, you have the job. How does it feel to now be? It's
Bruh.
a real testimonial now. Now people will be watching your story.
I don't know. It's weird because it's like, I mean, honestly, it's still because I've only been in tech sales 2.5 months, but the from point A of being released to point, well, let's call it B now. It's like it feels like unreal because I'm still like, I'm still on probation and it's ending in July. So like the money is great, but it's still like I have to pay these restitutions, and now I'm gonna make my. I just got engaged. Is it this? I just got engaged like 2 weeks ago, and my family's together. So it's like I'm still adjusting to it. My nervous system is still in like uh, poverty, worry. It's all unstable. Prepare for the worst, but day by day, as the money is coming in, it's getting better. It's getting so much better.
What's the experience like working in this current job in tech sales as opposed to what you had done in the past?
Um, honestly, it's not that different. Besides me booking meetings, I mean, I've always been on the phones talking to strangers for one reason or another. Now I'm reaching out to people with a value proposition that I have to explain and negotiate them to show up to the meeting and why they should show up to the meeting and why it's worth it. Now I just get paid a bunch more just to talk. Like I was doing previously, I was talking to these people, calling in about their co-payment, this and that, this and that. Now I'm bringing some of the value, and we're still having conversations about this and that, but it's more focused on. So I have this product, and I think it fits you perfectly. Do you got 10 or 15 minutes sometime next week to, so I can share my screen and show you what I got, and whatever, whatever. So it's the same but different. You know what I mean? And it pays a hell of a lot more. It's so much more.
So you're working remote and you're still talking, communicating to people, but now that the incentives are changed, now that you're paid based on performance in a way about delivering a result that leads to revenue,
Yep.
setting meetings, as opposed to being customer support and sort of the meetings come to you. They're not meetings, but they're all just customer support issues, and that is less valuable to a company than driving new revenue. So now
Right.
you get paid more to do a very similar job.
Exactly. And I love talking to people, especially when I know what I'm talking about. Like I knew what I was talking about with healthcare. Now I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this software or product that we're having out here. So it's great, man. It is just getting paid per performance because I'm very competitive. So that competitive nature plus just loving to talk. I mean, it's great. That little stress always hangs over your head. Like, man, I got to make sure I hit this number or exceed this number. But then again, that's the same thing with customer service. You have to make sure your quality score is on point. You have to be like at a 90 or a 95 or a 98, depending on what company. So that stress is always going to hang over your head. Like, I have to perform at a certain rate. But now I can exceed it, get paid more, and the stress is still there, but I'm good at it.
Talk about your experience going through Course Careers. When I wasn't putting you asleep some nights with with the 17 hours of content, what was your experience like going through the course?
Man, it was great because like I've always the people that I've admired, Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, other people, they always talked about starting out in sales, whatever it was, whether it was retail sales, door to door, this and that. A lot of people started out in sales. So I was just and that was always in the back of my mind about like, oh, sales, sales, sales. People that I admire have done sales, 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 and they're great now, financially at least. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. I can listen to this when I wasn't exhausted, bro. I was like, what's going on now? Okay, I know about the verticals in the corporations. Yeah, I know about that. Oh, I never heard of ICP and Fire Authority. Oh, customize the email. This how I should format it. It's like I was interested, even though I was super tired. I was like, man, I'm learning so much. Oh, this is a good book. Well, I've read something similar to this book before. It was all things that was natural to me because it was interesting. Like I was in love with like healthcare. So when like people would talk about their insurance, I was engaged because I was like something that I like. If it was something that I didn't like, it would be hard to stay attentive to it. But when you breaking down this and that and that, I was like, oh, okay, I like this. This is good. This is good. So I enjoyed it.
And then you complete the course in a month, you said.
Yeah.
What was your process to finding a job?
Now look, I've heard from multiple sources. I think you even said it. Like the whole spray and pray and just apply for jobs. You want to be very calculated, strategic. I did that for probably about 2 weeks. Then I was like, I'm not getting enough. I need more. God, Lord, I'm going to spray and pray, literally. And if it's for me, you just guide me to it. But I don't know what to choose. I don't know what to look base and OTE and what software they use. I don't know none of that. I just know I need to be in a tech sales position and get hired. So I started strategically. I love the Hunter software, whatever you want to call it, that it auto fills your application for you, so you don't have to spend time filling in every application. The Hunter thing that was provided by CourseCareers, as you're on LinkedIn, you go job by job, the little Hunter thing pops up. Do you want to save this to your apply? Yes. Go to an apply. It automatically fills out your information, auto generates your cover letter, and aligns your resume. Man, I just started putting in application after application after application after application after application. I did that for 3 weeks. Um, so every night after I get off of work, which would probably be like 4 or 5 in the morning, I would stay up from 4 or 5 in the morning to about 8 or 9 in the morning and apply for jobs. I'm talking about for a month, bro. A month of just apply, 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 apply. I don't have anything on my resume that is worth any value to a sales position besides CourseCareers. So I know I'm going to get turned down a lot because I already started. And I was calling people, emailing. They're like, we need to look for more experience. I was like, I need to just put more volume out there. And it was just apply, apply, 3 or 4 hours a day, 3 or 4 hours a day, 3 or 4 hours a day, apply, 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 apply. That was the that was the method. It got less strategic. I just needed more volume, more chances to get no's, and a little bit of maybes.
What was the breakthrough moment?
Huh? That was with Parakeet. So I had been through with all the volume. I got a bunch of rejection, but I had a few offers. Let's not call them offers. People of interest that were like, oh, okay, let's bring you in for the first round. They'll ask me these questions that I don't know how to answer because besides the CourseCareers, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're talking about what, how to, what, huh? It was just I thought I would never break in because every interview I had, they were asking me questions that I did not, for the life of me, know how to articulate a response that was good. So finally, I got to the point where Parakeet came into play, and they're a startup, so it's like 10 to 50 employees, somewhere around there. And the interview was very Matter of fact, it was like, hey, can you work the schedule 9 to 5? Yeah, I was working that before. Okay. Have you ever made cold calls? No, not really. I've been in customer service, so I've talked to strangers for hours. So I would say it's a cold call, but it's customer service. He was like, okay, all right. You went to CourseCareers? Yep. Completed it. Went certification? Yep. Can you work with 30,000 annually? I was like, this is not a part of the testimonials. They don't, I didn't hear nobody start out with 30K. Everybody's like 40, 50, 60, 70. What is this? I was like, you know what? I need this on my resume. I have nothing of value to a sales recruiter besides CourseCareers. I need this on my resume. So I was like, you know what? I'll take it. Shook, and that was it. The interview was very, can you do this? Can you afford this? Have you ever done this? Okay, you're hired. Boom!
Let's go.
Bro, crazy.
And that's what you're doing right now.
Nope. That ended in like, so I got hired. Okay, so I completed CourseCareers in like April, May. It took a month to finally get that job. So around about June is when I started, like literally June 1st or somewhere around there, June 2nd. No, June 5th. It was going great. I'm making cold calls. I'm learning, how to use tonality, all this stuff. It's great. It's awesome. Pay is abominable, but I'm getting experience. Bro, like towards the end of June, uh, bro, the company, since it's a startup, they're not stable, obviously, and they have clients that they work for, multiple software clients, and we're just cold calling and booking meetings for them. So I'm working for 3 different clients, and he was like, "Yeah, man, hey, we lost like 4 clients." I'm like, "Wow, man, it's terrible." He was like, "Yeah, so we have to let 30% of the employees go," and I'm like, "Am I part of that 30?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "No, no." I just got here. This is not in the testimonials. Nobody told me that it would be 30,000. You'll get hired, and then you'll get laid off. Nobody. Where's that testimonial? That would have made me think a little bit harder. Good thing I didn't see that. So, nope. That ended probably a week and a half ago.
Wow. And
Crazy.
okay, so now what's the plan?
What's the plan, man? I got a new job.
How did talk through that situation? What
Bro,
how did all this
oh my
play
god,
out? This
it's
is
amazing. It
unbelievable.
is amazing, bro. So I'm like, I get laid off. I'm like, I'll tell my fiance, I'm like, I got laid off. She's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I took it as try. He was like, if you ever need a referral, shout out to John at Parakeet. He was like, if you ever need a referral and if things ramp back up, we love your energy. We'll always have you back. I'm like, look, I understand business. I completely get it. Thank you for the experience. I needed this on my resume. I wanted to be there longer so I could show like stability in the sales world. But at least I got it on my resume for a month and a half. I'll just round it up to 2 so it'll look good on my resume. So honestly, I was excited because I was like, I know that I can get a better paying position than this. I know I can. So even though it's kind of like random and oh, here we go back in the instability, my nervous system is freaking out. I was like, but I don't know why I'm happy. Like I shouldn't be, but I feel like there's more. I know there's more opportunities out here. So I was like, okay, I know how to get a job now because I just applied, and I got a few interviews and I sucked at them. But now I know exactly what they're talking about when they want to know, what's your conversion rate and what were the buyer personas you were reaching out to, buyer authorities, and I know the lingo now, so I'm not worried about not knowing how to articulate my knowledge and how to answer these questions because I've done it for this long, especially when you're in a startup. It's you learn so much because you got to do everything. So following up, this and that, send the email. So I was like, okay, I'm ready. So I got laid off on Thursday. Immediately once I got laid off at 3 something p.m., I just started applying.
That day.
Same day. Applying. I'm excited. I'm just like, oh yes, I know. Ooh, look at that base pay. Oh my god, look at that base pay. So I'm just applying. The next day, Friday, I reach out to the company that I now work for, Remodel Boom, and they're like, okay, we're gonna run a demo call. I was like, right now? right now? Like, yeah, let's cold call role play. You say you're one of the best guys. You were at a startup, reaching out to all these type of buyer authority CEOs, CFOs, territory sales managers, this and that, this and that. Let's put it to the test. I'm like, all right, let's run it. Here comes ChatGPT. I made me a script really quick. Boom, nailed it. He was like, okay, all right. So we're gonna put you actually on the phone right now for the company. If you don't make 4 book meetings out of 10, then I apologize, but business is business. You're a great guy, but we're looking for the best of the best. So you got 10 tries, you got to land 4, and I landed 4 the same day on site. So I was hired Monday, and I got interviewed Friday when I got laid off Thursday.
This is unbelievable.
60K.
And who are 60? So you doubled. You doubled.
60K in one day.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's an amazing outcome. It's a true testament to your resilience and just pushing through.
Bro, it was all God, bro, because there's no way, bro. There was no way I would have ever thought that would happen, bro. It was like, yeah, the 60K and then the OT. It's $100 per qualified meeting on top of the base pay of 60K, bro. I was like, is this happening? I start Monday.
So much better incentives and compensation than before.
What? Unbelievable, undeniable.
And you like what you're doing now?
I love it, bro. I'm cold calling these business owners and selling them this software, or at least trying to get them to attend the meeting so we can talk about how the software can be a benefit to them. I love it, bro. I kill it, bro. I came out the gate, bro. 4 meetings, then the next day, 5 meetings, then the next day, 3 meetings, then the next day, 3 more meetings. I just start
knocking them down, knocking them down.
Going on.
That's amazing. Well, I think that's as good as it gets as a place to maybe wrap this. But is parting advice, what words of wisdom would you give to those out there that are maybe going through tough times or trying to figure it out, trying to make it work, and they think they want to do tech sales, but they're trying to figure it out? What would you tell them to do?
I think when I held a Zoom meeting after I posted that huge post that gained a lot of attention, I held a Zoom meeting, and then what it kind of boiled down to is,
what did you say in the post, by the way? What did you say in the post to get the attention?
Oh man, I was just in jail a year ago, and then I was in a shelter, and then I was working at McDonald's drive-thru in Tampa, just getting slammed, and I was working at Parakeet, and I got laid off, and even though I accepted a very, very, very low pay, and 60K later, and projected to 100 plus. This is a testimonial. Da 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 da. It's not a flex. It's proof. That's basically what I said. But parting words. What it boiled down to when we were discussing this with the people that joined the Zoom meeting was that action. I thought about it, and then I just did it. When it came to the shelter, I could have been very, I don't know, man. Life is hard. I'm on probation, and look at the ankle monitor. Who's gonna hire me? I just did it. Applied. Got a job. McDonald. Applied. I was like, who's gonna hire me with this felony on my record right now? I don't know. Applied. Got hired. How the hell am I gonna get out of this shelter? Go to the gym. I saw a sign that says, what was it, $270 a week? Oh, okay, are they gonna check my record? Don't know. Apply. Got in there. Okay, who's gonna hire me with no sales experience? Apply. Got hired. Okay, great. I got fired. Should I just wait around and really think about it? Is this for no? Apply. Hired. Like, it was all action. Thinking about it, great. Once you make your decision, act fast. And that's how I gained the momentum, bro. I've been in tech sales for 2.5 months, and now I'm making more than I've made in my life. And that's just the beginning. So take massive action. I'm going to get a little bit religious here. I love the Lord Jesus Christ, and he blessed me and gave me this opportunity to have these events happen. I take full responsibility for everything that happened to me that I caused, and then I also take responsibility for what happened to me now, which is all this good fortune, and he has blessed me. And I'm staying focused on being the best version of myself. That means father, son to my mother and my father and brother and good worker. I'm just trying to be the best version of myself, the healthiest version of myself, fiance, soon to be husband. Yeah, I just really poured into myself and invest in yourself. Stop taking the cheap route. Invest in yourself. You do it all the time. You invest in your diet. You're feeding yourself McDonald's and this and that. Invest in a valuable skill. Yep.
It's an amazing story. One of the best I've heard, and I'm happy you're just getting started here and
Yeah.
on the way up. So thanks so much for being here and wishing you continued success.
Thank you, Trent, and happy. I know you just posted your year anniversary. Good for you, buddy. I know you making the money. Boy, you're like a legend out here. You're a mystical being. I was like, oh God, I'm interviewing with that guy. I was just watching him. You're like a
Hey,
celebrity in
we're
a
just
way.
getting started.
I know
I
it's
appreciate it. We're just
amazing.
getting started. We're just getting started.
So happy early America's birthday is going to be fantastic. I'm going to celebrate, get used to this money, and stay focused and disciplined because the same thing that got me here is the same thing that's going to take me there. Don't get comfortable. Don't start letting off the gas. Just go.
Let's go. That's a wrap.